Hi Leo, and welcome to your March predictions reading. I was going to say March 2022 predictions reading. If you're a Leo Sun, Moon, Rising or have strong Leo placements in your chart, then this reading is for you. If you're here checking up on a Leo that you care about, then you can also stay. I just want you to know that I'm a very honest tarot reader, so you may hear or see some things that you don't like. You have been warned, okay? Cross watchers watch at your own discretion. So Leo, I just want to say before we start, today's reading is going to be a general predictions reading focusing on the month of March 2022. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you first, which will tell us the main theme that you can expect to experience in the month of March. We're then going to clarify with tarot, getting more specific information about how this month will progress, and we'll close your reading with another oracle card, which will give us advice. Now, in the middle of the month, I'll be posting checkup readings on all the signs, including yours, of course. And these readings are really going to be focused more on love. So we're not going to focus on love in today's reading. I do recommend that you subscribe and stay tuned for those mid-month check-ins to have a look at how your love life is going. Now, Leo. Romantic, sweet Leo. What is your main theme for the month of March, Spirit? What is Leo's main theme for the month of March? What is Leo's main theme for the month of March? Okay, we have happiness. Oh, that's so cute. Happiness is associated with marjoram in this deck. The fire element, we have Gemini and the number 15. I apologize that it got out of focus. There we go. I might get you one more card before we continue. I just realized my camera was a bit crooked. Can we get one more card for Leo, please, Spirit? What is their main theme for the month of March? We have vitality. Leo, you are on fire. Look at this. Well, you can't, can you? Because it's not focusing. We have vitality, the fig. We've got water element on there, a little bit of Taurus, and the number 32. Wow, I'm going to keep these in the middle while I talk about them. Look at that snake on there. I feel like you are in a place of, listen, figs for me, I always associate them with wealth, mostly because of ancient history. I feel like what's going on here for you, sweets, is like March is literally a month for you to just be happy, for you to do what you want, and for you to decide what you want as well. With Gemini here, you don't have to think too hard, but I do see you trying to pick up old passion projects, trying to stay connected with people who you can have fun conversations with, trying to think about new things that you could try for yourself, trying to stay up to date with certain gossip and little bits of news here and there, but not anything too seriously. I don't see you taking on any grievances or trying to get into anything too crazy and serious, but I do see you being a bit of a fire starter and attracting a lot of happiness to you. I see people wanting some of your time in March if you're available, and I see you really just having the chance here to do some things that you've never done before, to change your routine and to try some new things. I have a feeling with marjoram here that you're going to want to start small. I always think of marjoram as like a subtle herb, personally. Start small and build, because this is about you just finding something that you're interested in again and finding other ways to kind of pique your curiosity. I don't know if you'll even do this intentionally. I think you'll just casually start learning this or reading about that or doing this again. You haven't done it in years. You just were curious to see if you still had the knack for it. And I think what will happen is, as the month progresses, you're going to start to feel more connected to yourself, and you're going to start to feel more secure in who you are at this point in your life, as well as how your year is playing out. March feels like a turning point for you in the sense of, with vitality here, I see that it's about reconnecting to your values, what is meaningful to you, and how you want to spend your moments, your free time. I think that a little bit of self-care is on the cards in March, taking some time to yourself or with a loved one who you have been meaning to spend time with. And I think that there's also a bit of time here to spend a bit of money. I've got to be honest with you. Taurus is on there with the figs of vitality. I see some of y'all getting lavish, getting a bit bougie. If you don't know what that means, it's just you sort of indulging in a kind of lavish lifestyle and embracing your inner queen or king. It's not so much the gender, it's the idea of wealth. So it does feel like what's going on here is you're having the chance to kind of build yourself a bit and feel better about yourself and create yourself a little bit, which is what a Leo is always good at. People go to Leos for a sense of self. I don't know if other people realize that, but that's what I've noticed. A lot of people hang around Leos when they're confused and they kind of need a sense of self and direction again. Let us get some tarot out for you, Leo, and we'll get some more specific messages. What is going on for Leo in the month of March? I do see a really positive month for you. I just think that if you're worried about finances, you're going to be even more worried by the end of the month because you've got that bougie champagne budget in mind. So just be careful if you're worried about money. I see you being a bit reckless here in March. Okay, let's get that card that fell on the ground. Leo, please, Spirit. What is going on in March for Leo? What is happening in March for Leos? We have the Six of Cups in the reverse position, if it will focus. There we go. There's a cat hair up there. What is happening for Leo in March, please, Spirit? We have the Five of Swords in the upright. Okay. What is happening in March for Leo, please, Spirit? We have the Three of Swords. Wow, this would be why you're trying to try new things. You may be trying to get over something as well. Can I clarify that Six of Cups reverse, please? No, we need a card, just one card. Thank you. We have the Prince of Swords coming out. Can I clarify the Five of Swords, please? Thank you. We have the Four of Pentacles. Oh, I'm trying to get it to focus. That's why I hold the card so close, is so that the camera will focus. Obviously, you can't see everything when I hold it that close, but it's to make the camera focus. What about this Three of Swords? Dios mío, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of cards. At the back of the deck, we have the Three of Cups. So there's those beautiful, friendly, fun people that we've been meaning to see. Clarifying the Three of Swords, we have the Knight. We have Judgment. Please focus. And we have the Seven of Torches reverse. So I'm not crazy about your tarot. I've got to be honest. Your oracle cards were a lot better. Excuse me, I thought I saw a card on the ground. I think what's happening is some of y'all are running away from something that is happening in your reality. Your reality, there could be a tricky situation, a difficult conversation that you need to have, and there could be a challenging social situation going on, but you're running away from that and you're trying to just live your best life. I feel like some of y'all, yes, you do need to be very careful about your finances, okay? Please stick to that budget, prepare that budget, be realistic about your resources, because in the month of March, you're in this young, wild, and free energy, and it's not bad, but I'm starting to notice that there is a sense of ignoring something that needs to be said and that needs to be done. So let's have a look at the start of your month, shall we? We start over here with the Six of Cups reversed and the Prince of Swords. I feel like in that first week, there could be someone from your childhood or something from your past that you're wanting to take action towards or is stepping towards you. The main messages I'm getting is hasty past memories. So this is where I think those flighty energies start to surface, because what we're doing is this issue or this situation is presenting itself to us, and it has a fond feeling in many ways, but it also has a strong connection to our past. And if you're not here looking for anything from your past, even if it's fond, then I think that your response is going to be to run and to take hasty actions that immediately solve the issue. And if you're not wanting it, then you're going to do what you can to get away from it. If this is something or someone that you've been meaning to hear from, that you're actually really grateful to hear, I do think that they are a cause of distraction in some way. And I think that whatever they have to say or do to you for you, is not so much a huge deal, more of a sentimental one. You do enjoy, if this is someone that you're fond of, you enjoy their time, you enjoy the messages or the conversations you have, but it does feel like this energy is distracting in some way. That first week of March, there could be someone lingering around that it's not that they're bad, but they don't really help. That makes sense. That's the best way that I could describe it. And then it kind of sets this askew. Your whole month just feels like it's slightly askew. It's not quite on par. It's not quite balanced. And I think that that first week and a half, you may be compromising the things that you need to do for the things that emotionally take priority, especially if you're a sentimental Leo who is fiercely in love with your children or with your partner or with your friends. I see you putting their needs above yours, and whatever they want, I see you kind of going out of your way to help them. The other thing that I think is happening here in the first week and a half of March is that your energy is still connected to something that's happened to you in the past. It could have happened as recent as February. It could be an emotional situation that happened a while ago even, but it's kind of like you're thinking about that instead. And so it's hard for you to stay present, and it's hard for you to focus on what needs to be done now. And before you know it, you've accidentally procrastinated, and suddenly everything's rushing up on you. Regardless of what the actual circumstances, that first week and a half feels like you're rushing, and you've set this flighty tone to the month where you feel like you're already behind. It's only the first week of March and I'm already behind. Now, how this progresses is we have the Five of Swords and the Four of Pentacles in the middle here. So by the middle of the month, you're kind of choosing your battles here, and you're being strategic about who you talk to and whose messages you read, let alone reply to. I see some of you not even choosing to open letters or emails, and being very careful about who knows what you're doing. I see that some of you are being very closed off and careful about your communication and about your resources. For some of you, this is healthy because you do need to focus on your money as well. But for others of you with the Four of Pentacles here, you are in more of a defensive mode, and it feels like you're not afraid to talk if that's what needs to happen, but you'd rather just avoid that crazy situation if you can. So instead of saying something that you don't need to say, you're just going to kind of hold off and wait until it needs to be said. So some of you are walking away from a conversation that you need to have because it's not urgent at that point. But in the middle of March, the awareness of that is going to hit. And the other thing that I think is happening as well is that you genuinely just have other things going on in your physical world to the point where you are having to be picky and choosy and careful about who you communicate with, because you're accidentally leaving messages unread and you're walking out of conversations midway, not realizing that that person has been meaning to have a serious conversation with you for some time. So just be careful. Communication is very choppy. I see you leaving people unread and walking away. And I also think that that is you being very careful about your resources, your time, and how much you have available. And you don't have a lot. It is either you're very busy or time is literally money for you, and you've got to be very careful about how you manage your time by the middle of the month. The thing about this is you want to be careful and just make sure that you're not neglecting anything important there with the messages and the letters that you're not opening. Now, in the last week and a half of March, the Three of Swords tells me it's finally time to get some things off our chest. I see a difficult conversation needing to happen. If you don't choose to talk about what you've been thinking about or what you've been emotionally processing, then I do believe that this is going to break your heart in some way. It's going to really tear you apart. It's going to be weighing heavy on your mind, for example, and it's going to make you feel like you've failed yourself and the situation. I see that the chance to do this is going to be something that you're going to want to take for the sake of you embracing your own happiness and your own success. you kind of want the chance to do this because the weight of it is worse than having to put it off. Like it feels like you just want to get it over and done with, rip it off like a band-aid. For some of you, you could even be breaking up with somebody here, someone who you intended to separate from earlier. For others of you, it just feels like this issue has been on your mind. You're trying to balance the time of like, when do I say it? How do I say it? And I think with Judgment here, it needs to be said, but I see with the Seven of Torches reversed, you're trying to do it in a very sly way. Like you're not trying to come in too brazen and bold. You're trying to come through in a subtle, disarming way, a way that isn't from your ego and from your fiery, almost rage. It's coming from a heartfelt place of, I think it needs to be done. It needs to be said. I'm really sorry. I need to get this off my chest. And I do see with Judgment here that this is actually the most freeing thing that you'll be able to do for yourself all month. I think that this is the main topic of your reading because it's the main issue in your life right now. You've got happiness and vitality framing this awkward, uncomfortable situation. So ripping off that band-aid allows you to focus back on your happiness and your vitality and let go of this thing that's been weighing on your mind. Now you can actually focus on the other areas of your life. So if you are someone who shops to distract, please be careful of your finances. If you're someone who, when you're distracted, you accidentally lose track of bills and things and tasks and reminders, please stay on top of your bills, because your money here in the middle of the month, I'm quite concerned about. And I don't think it's as bad as you going into debt. I just think it's a case of we've lost track and we've accidentally overspent. So let's close your reading with some advice, Leo, shall we? Spirit, what is the advice for Leo here? What is the advice for Leo for the month of March? The closing advice for Leo. Ooh, we have the Angel Razvar, number 27 in this deck. I'm going to actually read something from the book for y'all. I read these cards intuitively, all my cards to be fair, but with the Angel of Razvar here, I think what's happening is you're being guided to do something. It's going to take courage, but you need to separate your defenses from that, because being defensive throughout this conversation or in this difficult place is only going to be met with more defense. In order to have this conversation well, it needs to come from the heart. It needs to come from a genuine, almost compassionate or loving place. And it needs to be said with this idea of like doing yourself a kindness and being honest to that person. I feel like your advice here is that you are being guided. So please, first of all, pay attention to the signs. Second of all, you have a big decision to make, and I think that you're going to end up having to talk about whatever this is. Your decision is more about when you do it. Do you do it in the middle here and set a healthy boundary in the middle of the month, or do you do it at the end of the month when you're at your wit's end? It's really up to you. The angel also has a message from this deck. Let me have a look. I gotta hurry up and read it for you. We're running out of time. Number 27, please, Spirit. From the Rumi Oracle deck, the Angel Bazaar. Tell me the truth, I asked love. What are you? I am the everlasting life, love said. I am the recurring joy of living. So I feel like this is about coming from a compassionate place, absolutely, and returning the favor. You're in a situation here where it is tricky, but if it's dealt with efficiently, it actually offers more freedom than pain. The Three of Swords looks painful and at the time can feel devastating, but we get over it fairly quickly if it's addressed fairly quickly. So I do feel like the idea here is to keep on moving forward and to allow those around you the honesty of what's on your mind in order for them to understand where they stand with you, Leo. I think that's where I have to call your reading, sweets. I'm sorry, I know there's probably more that we could talk about. Eventually, I want to do extended readings for zodiacs, but I'm not there yet. So until then, I wish you a wonderful March. Leo, I'm going to do a check-in reading in the middle of the month as well, so there may be messages there for you. It's going to be a love reading right in the middle of March. From about the 13th onwards, I'll be posting them, so please stay tuned. There could be messages for you there. Otherwise, you may have guidance in your other signs, your sun, moon, rising, etc., or other areas of your chart where you have strong placements. It was an honor to read for you, Leo. I do think that you can get through this month. It's obviously nothing compared to what you've been through. It's nothing devastating. I think if anything, there's a lot of power in your words and in your actions, and it's really just about you deciding when to do these things, when to say these things in order to give yourself that ability to focus more on your happiness and your vitality. Please look after your beautiful self, and I shall see you in another video. Bye!